It's time now for Charting Futures. Let's check in with Abigail Doolittle. And Abigail, you are honing in on Bitcoin today.
Bitcoin it is, Scarlett, plus Tesla, which is being compared to Bitcoin, along with gold. Let's take a look at Bitcoin year to date, because quite a year so far, up about 35%, a little more than 35%. Some call this digital gold, so maybe you can make the case this has something to do with some of the macro concerns around the coronavirus. Either way you slice and dice it, a bullish year so far for Bitcoin. However, we had a very bullish start to last year, too. If we take a look at this terminal chart in the Bloomberg, we are going to see this is the RSI on Bitcoin. So in the beginning of 2019, where at one point Bitcoin was up as much as 250%, Bitcoin became very overbought, and then the RSI momentum indicator came back down, went back up. Now we have a series of lower highs. That's bearish from a technical perspective, and indeed it led to the big correction that we had for Bitcoin as well last year. Right now, what I'd like to point out is we have basically equidistant highs in the RSI, not perhaps the strength of momentum that the Bitcoin bulls would like to have with this year's rise. But to talk more about Bitcoin, that RSI, and what could be ahead for digital gold, Mike McGlone of Bloomberg Intelligence, thank you as always for joining us. Love your commentary on Bitcoin. And what do you think about that RSI? It looks a little bit tepid, yet we have this huge move up for Bitcoin on the year.
Agreed. And it's supposed to get a little tepid when the market's really entered a bull phase, and it has been. One thing Bitcoin has been doing is following gold, and gold made a pretty good high around 1,600. So it's like the new quasi-currency following the old guard, and it's also got a little link with Tesla there, too. They're both disruptive technologies.
So you just mentioned gold, so let's now look at your chart of Bitcoin and gold. And we'd like to look at the futures, but this is actually Bitcoin spot, just because from a time perspective, but everything we're talking about is futures, but this is just a proxy.
The significance is we have bull market uptrends and markets that are consolidating. Bull markets that are consolidating. One thing that's really helped Bitcoin this year is futures started trading options, and volume and open interest has really kicked in. And that's part of what you see here in this rally. And you see this magenta line, if you can squeeze in there, that's a 12-month moving average in Bitcoin. It's around 8,500. And then you see gold kind of leading the pack. Gold, it's a 7-year high. But it got pretty rich around 1,600. It might trade in a range of 1,500 to 1,600 for quite a while, but the significance is these quasi-currencies are quite bullish. The technicals look good. And if you look at the fundamentals, we have global yields declining and debt to GDP ratios increasing. That's a good sign that's a good background, I should say, for quasi-currency.
Okay, so you clearly like both gold and digital gold. So you would be, not that you're bullish on both gold and Bitcoin. I don't want to make a buy recommendation since that's not really what you do. But we were just mentioning Tesla, and of course, everybody wondering about Tesla right now, that huge move up, and then today, the move lower. So here we have Tesla in blue, I believe, and then Bitcoin futures in white. Is that right?
The significance and the connection are, they're different assets, but they're the world's most significant disruptive technologies with name recognition all around the world. So what you see in blue is Tesla. Yes, it's got a little rich. It peaked. It was around up 100% in a year. Now it's 70% or so.
Just 70% in about a month.
But in a long-term chart, it trades just like it did in 2013, which is one of the biggest years ever. By the way, that was the biggest year ever for Bitcoin. And it looks to me like you're seeing a little bit of Bitcoin catching up. The one thing to remember is these are very highly speculative highly speculative assets. And you get those animal spirits out there. This one's a little bit rich. You have Tesla a little bit rich. It might transfer tilt a little bit tension more towards Bitcoin.
Your point is interesting on Tesla, that parabolic uptrend in 2013, because that is the only one, to my memory, that has not corrected. Typically, they do reverse per the law of physics, but not for Tesla. So it's going to be interesting to see whether this is just a little bit of consolidation. But it sounds like you definitely like Bitcoin futures.